Hi, it's Brianna Casey back for week 3. From this week's reading, we read chapters 14, 15, 17, and 18 of Louis E. Catron and Scott Shattuck's The Director's Vision, Play Direction from Analysis to Production, 2nd edition, 2015. In this week's reading, the authors discussed the mechanics of rehearsals, how to establish a creative environment, how to set realistic goals, how to work with actors, especially trying to find ways to motivate them, exploring the significance of movement, sharing techniques on how to capture an audience's attention, as well as be given tips on what to do versus what not to do when working with your actors and blocking. One of the biggest takeaways for me this week was the importance of building a positive atmosphere at your rehearsals. In chapter 14, Catron and Shattuck talk about creating a theater community that has both focus and a sense of enjoyment. We need to build a place where actors are committed to the work, but still feel free to be creative and explore their potential acting choices. This stood out to me because it made me realize how powerful the role of the director is. Not only are we managing the entire production of a show, but we are also setting the example for what is to be expected for rehearsals. And so if we come into rehearsals with a very negative attitude about us, like if we're very frustrated, if we are yelling and blaming others, that's going to create a lot of tension that the actors will immediately pick up on. And whether we like it or not, our emotions are very contagious, negative ones even more so. This negative energy will quickly grow throughout the rehearsal, and actors will start to be a little bit more snippy with each other. Their emotions will start to diminish and start to get more negative as well. And it can create a very toxic environment that may even push actors to no longer be excited about rehearsals, but to begin to dread them, which is dangerous territory. Because as teachers and directors, we don't want to discourage actors from coming to a rehearsal. We want to encourage them. We want to get them excited about coming to rehearsal. Instead of directors coming in already frustrated, they should show excitement. Even if you have a bad day, pretend it's the best day ever. You have to show a genuine interest in the production. If you're excited, your actors will get excited. Your positive energy will be reflected back to you from your actors. If you want your students to be more willing to participate, you gotta be able to make sure you establish that safe, welcoming environment for them. Only when you build that space for them will your actors not only be more willing to participate, but more willing to take risks and take your notes and grow together to build a better performance. It's not about just building a safe space where actors are welcomed in. It's building a safe space where actors want to come in. That's what will make actors willing to be productive and will make a show more successful. The second idea I would like to discuss comes from chapter 15, where the authors, Catron and Shattuck, 2015, focus more on how we support our actors throughout the rehearsal process. Actors, especially high school students, are sensitive people who tend to overthink a lot and can be consumed by their anxiety. In this chapter, Catron and Shattuck 2015 emphasized that actors want to feel recognized for their work. They want their acting choices to be admired so that they may feel proud, accomplished, and even appreciated for their efforts. And honestly, this would hit really hard for me because I've had directors who wouldn't compliment me, who wouldn't compliment anyone in the cast, despite how much work we would put into the show, how many hours we would spend on our own time, making sure our actors were perfect, that we did the character analysis, that we got the accents down, that we did our music correctly, our choreography correctly, our blocking correctly, everything. And we would get nothing. And it was devastating. I mean, I get that directors are not always going to hold your hand throughout the entire production process, but at the same time, I do believe that actors do deserve at least a little bit of encouragement. As I said, it can be really discouraging to put in so much effort only to have your hard work go completely unnoticed by the director. So as directors working with actors, especially high school students, I think it's really important that we acknowledge their progress. Something I think many theater people forget is that rehearsals aren't just about running scenes over and over again. It's about growth and building connection, not only with each other in the cast, but with our characters as well. Actors are constantly dealing with doubts and anxieties, and it's the director's job to guide them through that. Something as simple as recognizing improvement or praising effort can make a huge difference in an actor's confidence and give them the motivation that they need in order to improve for their scene. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.